Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
Americans of Reddit, what do you think about President Trump and El Salvador President Bukele refusing the Supreme Court's order to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the U.S.? Due process was one of the most important demands of the Founding Fathers of America. The loss is a total and complete abrogation of the Constitution. There is literally no Constitution without it. No rights, no such thing as citizenship. No laws, no government. Even the best designed government with strongly established rules and norms relies on leaders working in good faith. We already know Trump doesn't work in good faith. This, oopsie, and there's nothing I can do, is among the most egregious examples. The problem is that he's always testing the boundaries of the system's weak points. Most other presidents were very thoughtful before they approached the edge, knowing it could set bad precedents and break things. In his meeting with President Nayib Bukele today in the White House, President Donald Trump told his Salvadoran counterpart that homegrowns are next, and that El Salvador would need to be built about 5 more places to hold American citizens. The president is directly saying he intends to send U.S. citizens to concentration camps, while also saying he can do this without any due process and while ignore the Supreme Court's instructions to stop and return an innocent man. Edit to include sources directly in this post,
https://www.independent.co.uk/news/world/americas/us-politics/trump-home-groans-bukele-snyder.substack.com/p/trump-home-groans-a-next-question-mark UTM_source email. Saves room in American prisons and is cheaper. Isn't that what he said? Fucking scary. The American prison industrial complex won't like the offshoring of their work. I'm currently looking at South Korea with envy with regards to how they handled their president staging a coup and wondering why the fuck we can't have that here, even though I know why we can't have that here. My copy-paste today, because I truly think we're in a state of emergency. The SC decision unequivocally stated that due process is owed to all detainees, regardless of citizenship status. They are ignoring that. The administration ramped up rhetoric today to say that they want U.S. citizens to go to CECOT. They're going to clamp down on un-American speech. They're also not complying with a separate court order to allow app in the press pool. They're leaping forward with Project 2025 in a coordinated way. We need to immediately boycott, mass call Congress for impeachment, start the general strike, and mobilize for mass protest. April 19th, this Saturday. In a proper country, Congress would be at least withholding money from the State Department and ICE until this was resolved. It should be grounds for impeachment proceedings to start immediately. But we all know that's not going to happen. Lol, impeachment. Americans really think small. Coloring in the lines doesn't do anything anymore. The single most worrying development in the federal government of my 41-year life. The conservative sub continues to cheer it on, which makes everything so much worse. There are conservatives on that sub expressing concern, but they get dismissed as rhinos and brigaders. You can't reason with the hardcore MAGA. The only time I see a halfway rational post, it has like 100 downvotes. The only possible comfort of any sort that I get here is that Trump still feels it's necessary to distort the truth about the Supreme Court decision. He can't just nakedly say, lol, get fucked courts. But honestly, we fucked. This isn't a jail, it's a death sentence. There is no hope of release. There is no accounting for the alleged crime. There is only unending punishment. Once Trump knows he was able to get away with sending this person despite the courts, there will be little to restrain him. American citizens are next. And we're only 2 months into this maniac's rule. When Stephen Miller said, "We won the Supreme Court case 9-0, my jaw dropped. That's a level of lying even incongruent with this administration. He literally just tried to 1984-style gaslight the country by representing a resounding and rare 9-0 ruling against them as a win. That's wild, wild stuff. This is going to get so much worse. Stephen Miller is a traitor. He also lied about Garcia's immigration status, calling him illegal when he had a stay order withholding of removal status from a court. They're also playing an idiotic and illegal game with the Salvadoran president, where both the countries are saying that the other is the one who decides what happens to Garcia. Hugely important, the whole regime is flagrantly violating the part of the SC order that said that all the detainees, regardless of citizenship status, are owed due process. Removed. It becomes increasingly clear that no one in Washington, D.C. gives a single solitary fuck about a constitutional crisis. We've had more than one in the last 4 months, and this one appears to be no different. It either baffles me, breaks my heart, or freaks me out why Congress is not doing anything.
Because just about all of them are insider trading and benefiting from all of this. Horrified, angry, powerless. All of our institutions and leaders failed us to allow this to happen. Schumer remaining in power means the Dems are complicit if not actively supportive. They already let Garland stall for 4 years. I don't understand why people are so forgiving. They're definitely complicit. For the last decade specifically did I fight my way through endless Trump supporters. When it became heavily apparent that he was a newborn Hitler with everything to prove and nothing to prove with, I said so. Let it be known that he's not just sending protesters or immigrants into jail, he's sending them to a modern-day concentration camp, and has claimed that if he can find a way to, legally, he would not be above sending natural-born US citizens there to rot and to die. History doesn't often repeat itself in a 1-to-1 ratio. This really will be the US's homegrown Holocaust with different context if he's not stopped and not stopped soon. There is no if, he already plans to do it regardless of the court. Insert government agency here, brand you a homegrown criminal and you'll never be seen again. https://bsky.app/profile/pbump.com/post/3lemiage6s2v. Good chance he, and the others they sent, are already dead and they will deflect the issue indefinitely. I'm betting this will end like Otto Warmbier being returned from North Korea. Trump will fight it as long as possible, finally agree to let him back into the country, and then it's, oops, he suffered a sudden medical crisis and died, man shrugging. https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/Otto_Warmbier. It means the US is no longer a democracy and is a fascist dictatorship. I think it's one of the worst things to ever happen to America. It's the end of democracy. You'd hope Congress would wake up and take a stand, but they have no spine or anything to worry about. So without them, it relies on citizens to take a stand, and that infrastructure isn't there yet. Dark days ahead for this once great country. This is how civilizations collapse. History is the best teacher, and it gets ignored too often. If they bring him back, he'll be on every news outlet in America describing how he was tortured and abused after an American president had him kidnapped and sent to a concentration camp in El Salvador without due process. He'll be a hero, he'll be a victim, he'll be the face of these illegal deportations, and the public will have no choice but to reconcile with the inhumanity of this atrocity. Trump will look like the worst villain to ever lead this country. Then he'll sue, and he'll win. But it won't be enough, there are still hundreds left behind to that fate. None of them can be allowed back, or the show's over. Knowing who we're dealing with though, I'd bet money they stage an Epstein instead. They'd rather deal with that fallout than the fallout of bringing him back. Because if Fox News says it was likely suicide, that's what every red hat in this country will believe. They'll just say he was depressed. Anything else is speculation, and these people live and lurk in the shadows of plausible deniability. Bring him back, there's no deniability. Stage a suicide, you get deniability all day long. Then you just commit another atrocity and everyone moves on from the current one. It's a shitty playbook, but it's predictable. They won't have to stage anything. The guy is literally just gone. Disappeared. Nobody knows where he is, whether he is alive, what his status is. And he will stay that way. Conditions in that prison aren't some carefully guarded secret. From day one, El Salvador has been very open about that prison being hell. It's a black hole you drop people into. It's meant to scare the shit out of the cartels. And now it's meant to scare the shit out of any Americans bothering to pay attention. There won't be any cover-ups. All this is by design. It's a criminal violation of the 13th Amendment and extremely un-American. Everyone involved deserves the maximum prison sentence, General Pop. Sorry, the Supreme Court ruled that the president has immunity for whatever he does in an official capacity. The 6 Republican members of SCOTUS who ruled in the majority in Trump versus United States are absolutely complicit in what is going on now. I am well aware they are criminals too. Trump is shitting on the US Constitution and Bukele is helping him. Actually, Congress is helping him. Congress could impeach him right now. The Republicans are helping him. Let me find my answer to all the previous questions about blatant executive overreach on this subreddit. Oh look, more fascism. Next question, it's all fucking fascism. Like, I'm not really sure what people are looking for here. Approximately 30% of the country were tired of this whole democracy thing because they weren't getting their way, and another 30% couldn't be bothered to show up and vote against a candidate who literally said he was going to do this. So here we are, where apparently you don't need 2/3 of Congress and 3/4 of the states to ratify a new amendment. You just need 51% of the Electoral College, and 34% of the Senate, and the president can do whatever the fuck he wants. Sigh, Republican voters are out of excuses.
There is no smoke screen to hide behind. If you voted for Trump or any Republican congressperson, you did this. You voted to end democracy because it was inconvenient for you. You are all the modern American Nazis. You know what we call Nazis who didn't agree with Hitler's racism but supported his economic policy. We call them Nazis. If we survive this, Republican is going to be the same type of, obviously a bad person, as a Nazi is. Fascists in 100 years will cry, you can't call me a Republican just because you disagree with me. And we'll do it all again, because apparently people are just that stupid. I'm fucking terrified as a citizen. How long before I'm gone? Will my daughter, a mixed baby, be safe? How the fuck are people okay with this? How does my own father still support him? I'm terrified as well. For my son, great-nieces and anyone with brown skin. My brother supports him and his grandbabies are mixed. I don't fucking get it. They need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid.